Hello everybody, my name is VirusLurb and I am back to bring you guys another video. Today we will be looking at my long-awaited Windows Neptune series. It's been so long and I've been finally able to give you guys the Windows Neptune series and being able to finally segue into my Windows XP series. So happy to finally be able to dig into Windows Neptune and give you guys a little bit more information about Windows Neptune. I've seen the comments a little bit and I've seen some people already wanting me to do Neptune, and you guys have been waiting very patiently. You guys finally have it. If I sound just a tad bit different, it's because I got a new microphone. I am really happy that I was able to get a new microphone just for you guys, so I'm able to improve the quality of my videos and maybe sound a little easier on the ears. But I'm really glad I was able to make this investment and do it for you guys and able to improve the quality of my videos. Now, as you can see, the Neptune startup screen looks a lot more different than the Windows 2000 startup screen. Now, it doesn't stray too far from the Windows 2000 startup screen. It has just the Neptune and under construction, and that's really about it. This is the only build of Windows Neptune that has been released, so it's going to be a mini-series. However, it will mark the start of my Windows XP series. Now, this build of Neptune is 5111.1. The BIOS date on this was December 10th, 1999, so I believe this is about when it was compiled. I'm not too sure when it was specifically compiled, but about here. Here we have submit a comment, where we are able to actually submit bug reports and whatnot, which is really nice. Now, this build of Neptune actually had a time bomb. I was actually supposed to roll back the date and use, I don't use serial key. However, this ISO in particular needed to had a time bomb on it, but I was not needed to use a following key for activating it, which is really nice. Now, what has particularly changed in Neptune? What's so special about Neptune, you guys might be asking? Well, Neptune was, as I already stated, was the predecessor to Windows XP. It was a scrapped project that was going to merge the consumer and the business platform. However, Neptune pretty much was scrapped in favor for another operating system. Reasons were mostly because of legal reasons and whatnot, and because they just wanted to merge the operating systems already because of the failure of Windows ME and people wanting to go to Windows 2000 already, and the consumers were already wanting a new operating system due to the failure of Windows ME. So they scrapped it all together and they decided to go with Windows XP. Now, Neptune was a really special case. We weren't able to see what Microsoft was going to do with Neptune. All we know is a little bit of what Microsoft wanted to do with Neptune. I'm going to specifically talk about the activity centers. This is one of the biggest changes that Microsoft was going to implement. Now, the activity centers were single window applications that were written in a combination of HTML and the Windows 32 API. Now, we can see a lot of the active desktop integration in Windows Neptune. We are able to see this and pretty much kind of see what Microsoft was going to be going at. They were supposed to be released in Windows Millennium Beta 1 in the fall of 1999. However, the underlying Activity Center technology wasn't going to be far enough to provide the needed HTML hooks into the traditional Win32 interface. So the plans were scaled back dramatically. There were supposed to be some activity centers that were called Photo Center, Gaming Activity Center, and the Home Networking Configuration Center, and they were never released publicly. The Music Center was evolved into Windows Media Player 7, which is pretty interesting. We're finally into Windows Neptune, and here we got it in full crisp color, so you guys can actually see it very nicely and how it was intended to be. We got Windows Update. It still has a lot of branding inconsistencies due to it being pretty early in the development stage. Actually, it's a milestone 2 build from what we can gather, so it is still pretty early in development. Another new revolutionary thing that Windows Neptune was supposed to have was a login screen. Now this login screen was also a JavaScript and HTML based UI, and it was pretty much going to be mostly web integration. As you can see how Microsoft was trying to focus a lot on web integration, which is really nice. However, this login screen evolved, and you will see it in my Windows XP series, which you guys will take notice, and it will look a lot similar to this Windows Neptune. Here we got Windows Media Player still here. So this build of Neptune was a hybrid of Windows 2000 and Windows ME. It has some features that Windows ME had, and it has some features of Windows 2000, and they build upon that and basically give what we have in Neptune. So, Windows Neptune. These are some of the features that featured in Windows Neptune didn't make it. I'll be actually talking about one of them, and right here, that some of the features that weren't able to be going into XP. So here in some of the features that were included in XP were the login screen, as obviously stated, and the user accounts. Speaking of the user accounts, here they are. Now, the user accounts introduced 4 types of accounts ranging from the owner to the guest. There was owner, adult, child, and guest. In Windows XP, we saw that the adult type was pretty much scrapped. Child was mostly, I guess you could say, the standard account, as you could say, as that you could monitor activities a little bit on the standard account. However, this was expanded more in Windows Vista with the parental controls, and you were able to actually put timers in place and restrictions in place to websites, to applications, and stuff like that. It was really revolutionary for its time, for what it was going to want to do. Now, the owner, it's basically self-explanatory. The owner was able to do system-wide changes to a computer, and it can make changes to any other user account. There was only going to be one owner account. I believe it was only allowed to be one owner account. The adult account was intended for people who can make standard changes to the computer. Very basic. They weren't able to touch any other person's user's accounts, which was just installing applications and software for their account as well. The child was as self-explanatory. They were supposed to be monitored and safeguarding against corrupting the computer system, and they needed to be monitored for websites and stuff like that. It was very nice. They had very limited access to internet content and could also have limited computer time, which we did not see that in Windows XP. However, we do see that integration into Windows Vista, which is very interesting. The user accounts panel, as you can see, it's called Windows Identities, if you guys couldn't see that. It is another HTML and JavaScript application, and it's pretty much the very early version of the Windows XP User Accounts Manager. Very interesting. Now, the Help Center. The Help Center, I actually made a reference in one of my Windows Millennium builds where I said that this looks very similar and was built upon the Help Center of a Windows ME build. It was a very early Windows ME build, and I believe I did cover it, and I did make a reference to it. I'll show you guys in just a little bit what the Help Center looked like, but it's almost a direct copy from the Windows Help Center, except it had a couple of branding changes, like send help to the Windows Neptune beta team, which was pretty interesting. I actually really like that. Bug reporting was a lot more integrated into this operating system. So much of the bug reporting was in Windows ME. Windows ME had also a lot of bug report integration. However, it's a little bit more prominent in Windows Neptune. You can see a lot of places where it says, oh, file a bug report. You saw in the installation where it said, take a snapshot, file a bug report, and send it to the Windows Neptune beta team. There was another feature in Windows Neptune that was actually hidden away in WinNT directory, and it was an auto update. It's pretty much copied directly from a Windows ME build. However, this is one of the features that actually made it into Windows XP, and we were able to see what Microsoft wanted to do. Very actually exceptionally interesting. It's really cool how we can see some of these features back from Neptune, and we can still see them today, even the auto updates, the parental controls, and stuff like that. It's actually fairly interesting. It's really cool how it kind of started with Windows Neptune. It's really nice. There was another feature in the power options that was called Fast Boot. Now, Fast Boot was intended for users who actually installed Windows Neptune on a FAT32-bit partition. Or a FAT partition. I shouldn't say FAT32, it was a FAT partition, basically. So basically, on the next reboot, Neptune optimizes the boot, and basically what it does, it takes a snapshot of the subdirectory in the Windows NT directory, that's of the memory and of the drivers and how it's loaded, and it's in a folder called boot, and it's a 12.4 megabyte file that's created, and it's called bootimage.image. As you can see, here's the Windows help and support. You guys can see how similar it looks. If you guys watched all of my Windows ME series, you guys can definitely recognize this from the early Windows ME build. Back on topic. It's an initial memory snapshot of the boot drivers and the kernel. So this is how it uses it to pretty much speed up the boot process, so it's able to load all the drivers pretty much in here. Now, in about a minute or so, I'm going to be muting my microphone, and you guys are going to be able to see what the Windows activities look like. I would like to give great thanks to, first, Ken Oath for your work on the actual desktop that was supposed to be the Windows Activity Centers. Ken Oath is an ex-BetaArchive user, and he was actually the one who contributed all the work to recreate what Microsoft possibly was going to do with Windows Neptune, as you can see, the activity centers. So I would like to thank Ken Oath for that, and I would also like to thank TheCollectionBook, where I've gotten all the images, and for them hosting Ken Oath's work. And it was really nice that we will be able to see. I'm going to show you guys a couple of the screenshots that would basically show you what it was going to be, and it's going to be really interesting. I hope you guys would really enjoy it. Sit back and relax, and I hope you guys enjoy these amazing features that was going to be shown in Windows XP but was ultimately scrapped. So, time to be quiet. Please enjoy the work of Ken Oath. And that's the pictures, and again, I would like to thank Ken Oath, and I would like to also thank TheCollectionBook for actually hosting these images, and it was really amazing to actually get to see these, and it was really cool to be able to see what Ken Oath was able to make, and the actual work he spent on trying to recreate what Microsoft was going to do. Now, another feature that was introduced in Neptune that was ultimately put into Windows XP was the Windows Firewall. Now, it's a very limited program, however, I wouldn't even call it a program, I should call it an option. All you would do is just tick a box in the local area connection properties, and it would say enable firewall mode connection for this network. For this connection, I'm sorry. And it was pretty much, that's about it. It was very limited. It was just a tick box. It was just a check box. It was just a tick a box, and there you go. You've got a firewall. Very interesting. And ultimately, this was actually expanded on in Windows XP, and we were able to see what it was pretty much like, and it was very interesting. So there's a lot of, as we know, there's a lot of branding inconsistencies, as you guys saw in Windows Neptune, but however, that's really okay, because it was really in the early stages of Windows XP, I'm getting ahead of myself already, of Windows Neptune. Another feature that I never mentioned was there was a multi-desktop feature. Oh, and here's the actual login screen. Here we can see it. Let me log in. Here we go. We get to see the login screen actually working. There was a feature that I didn't get to show that was called multi-disk dsk.exe, and what it is, it's basically found in the i386 folder and the Neptune disk, and it allows you to use multiple desktops. The reason I never showed this in the video is, the main reason is it's bugged. It's very bugged, and it would log you off every time you exited a program. And as you can see, I exited a lot of programs, so I really didn't want to deal with the hassle, cutting, and all that. It would be very, very, very difficult to actually do this. So I saved myself and you guys from pain and torture to just do this. And I believe that is really about it. That all I've got on Windows Neptune. That's pretty much all I have on Windows Neptune. I've covered most, if not all, about Windows Neptune. All we have up to this point for Windows Neptune. I'd like to take this time to talk to you guys. After my Windows XP series, I will be starting Windows Longhorn. And after Longhorn, I have no builds of any beta builds of Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, and Windows 10. So if you guys have any sources that actually host those builds, beta builds of Windows 7, 8, 8.1, or 10, please message me, leave in the comments, let me know if you guys want me to continue making these Windows series. I would love to complete the Windows series and end off on Windows 10. I don't want to end off on just Windows Longhorn or any of the other ones. I would love to end off on just Windows 10, and it would be very helpful. I would love it, love it if you guys could help me out on there. And yeah, that's all I would love to tell you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all the love and support that you guys have been giving me. And I really appreciate all the nice comments. I love reading them. I love replying to them. And it really makes me keep wanting to make my content better for you guys. This is why I got the microphone, so I can be a little bit more better for you guys. And being able to just be with you guys. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Remember to hit the notification so you're notified every time when I upload. And please follow my Twitter, which will be in my channel. You'll be able to go check it out, so you guys will be able to communicate with me even more, and you guys will know when the next virus alertable video will be out. I'm pretty sure that's about it, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Please like, rate, comment, and subscribe again. Please hit those notifications. Remember to hit those notifications, and please share these videos if you guys want to share my videos to the world and show the amazing history of Windows XP. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and as always, Virus Alertable, signing off.